Good morning. My name is Courtney. I'll be taking over Everyday Mamas today to give you guys a home tour. And we are from Minnesota. I'm a wife, and I am a mom of two, a daughter who's just a little under 3, and we have an 8-month-old son who's currently napping. So I'm gonna try to get this home tour done during that time, just because our days are really busy around here. We like to call our house, or I like to call it, the Valley View Farmhouse. We like to call our house the Valley View Farmhouse, and we don't have any animals yet, but one day hope when we're able to add more things into our busy life, to have things like chickens and maybe a couple goats. And this spring, we're actually hoping to get a garden going. So that's like the biggest thing right now. We do have a house project going on, which I will show you. Everyday life around here, nothing crazy, fancy schmancy. We have concrete being poured. We're getting sidewalks added into our house, and I should give you a little background about our home. It was my husband's grandparents, and we renovated it, and didn't plan on it becoming as big of a renovation as it did, but we found things like black mold and just some other things as we started, taking walls down and ceilings down, that we were like, oh, we need to fix this. So it was basically down to the studs. So we moved in this past fall, and it started like the winter before. So it was just under a year of renovating, and like I said, we did not plan on it being as long as it took, and we were hoping to be moved in before our son arrived, which he was born last August, and we moved in September. So anyway, that kind of gives you a little background knowledge of just our home, and just it's so special to us, and we're so thankful for it. So I'm really happy to share it with you today. And like I said, it's real life over here. So I have floors that have not been mopped. The playroom has been played in already today, but I'm still going to show you a few spaces in our home that we use and love, and just are like highlights in our home. So let's go. So I'm going to start with the outside of the house right now. As I said, we have concrete being poured this morning. We're getting ready to put our handprints into part of the sidewalk. So this is just the back side of the house. And this is our view out the back. Our home is on 12 acres. Oh, there's a loon that was just flying in the sky. You can hear him. There you go, some Minnesota love for you. Anyway, one of my absolutely favorite parts about our home, and something that I dreamed of when I thought of, like, if I ever built my own home, one thing I would absolutely love to have is a wraparound porch, and we have one. It increased the budget quite a bit, so we're literally paying for it now, but it is so worth it. It's so fun to see our daughter running around playing on the porch, and when our son is big enough to start doing it, is such a sweet scene seeing that. So the wraparound porch is probably my favorite thing about our home. And we did have barn lights added in the top above our front door. I'll show you guys that. And these barn lights are from Barn Light USA. They are such an amazing brand. We love partnering with them, and they just add so much to the front door. So that's a little bit about the front. Like I said, there's a lot going on outside today, so I'm going to take it inside now and show you guys a few more areas of our home inside. So I'm going to show you the kitchen next, but I just wanted to share a few things that you'll see on my personal account. If you end up hopping over there and following along with us, is you'll just see lots of real life things happening. I share my faith a lot, because that is just to the core of who I am. So you'll see a lot of things that have to do with my faith. I share resources for children. I used to be a teacher, so I taught 2nd grade and I taught 1st grade prior to staying home when our daughter was born. So I'm very passionate about teaching. I have a heart for children and just their little minds. So you'll see a lot of just, I call it school. Our daughter, like I said, she's just under 3, so we do like 15-minute intervals of different. So I like to share things like that, and health and wellness and just recipes. Those are all things I'm also passionate about, and I like to share often. So those are kind of some of the typical things you'll see over. So in all of that, my faith, lifestyle, motherhood, I hope to encourage you, to inspire you to try new things, whether that's a teaching resource with your child or a new recipe, just to encourage you and just to simply remind you that in the struggles and in the joys of motherhood and being a wife and being a Christian, if you would identify as a Christian, that you're not alone. So anyways, let's go to the kitchen. So this is our kitchen. When we remodeled this house, or renovated it, I should say, this basically where our dining room table is was where the living room was for my husband's grandparents. And so we totally reworked this, and there was like a drop step down into the living room space. It's kind of a big thing that was pretty popular in the 70s, which is when this house was built. So we got rid of that, and we are not big TV people, so our only TV is actually downstairs in the basement. And then another thing we added was an upstairs. So that totally changed the look of this whole space. This used to be an L-shaped kitchen, but I love a big long island, and we put a farmhouse sink in. And then our fixtures are also barn light, like our exterior light fixtures like I showed you that are at the back door and the front door. But yes, we wanted to just have a really clean space, just like a clean slate, I should say. And so that's why if you look around, all of the walls are just white. And we really wanted that. We wanted to just have a space that was basically like a blank palette that we could do what we wanted with, as far as adding textures and pops of color with the decor items. And we have done that also very gradually. I think with this house, one thing that my husband and I focused a lot is we didn't just want to throw something up on the wall because it worked. We wanted it to have meaning or matter, or just be pieces that we just really, really love. And so we don't have a ton on the walls yet, but we started to add pieces throughout the house that just bring character and bring a little bit more meaning to the spaces. So this is the kitchen. One thing that we have not done yet is a backsplash, but hopefully one of these days we'll get that to happen, one thing at a time. So the one other thing I wanted to highlight in here, because I get asked about them all the time, are our handles and knobs. And if you've never heard of the Like to Know It app, it's basically an app that you can attach links to in an image. And so a lot of my home decor, even my apparel, I will link to images. And like I said, have gotten asked about these all the time. We put these on ourselves. My brother-in-law and husband did them, and I think my brother-in-law did most of them actually. And they're from Amazon. All right, we've got the crew with us now. This is Tommy. There's Collins. And that's Scout. I consider her my third and oftentimes most difficult child. So off of the kitchen, I'm going to show you this breezeway. We just actually partnered with Bed Bath & Beyond to do a fun spring refresh. And this space had many items included. And it does not look like it did on the day that I shot the images for the blog post, because, there's life. My mother-in-law had this in their garage for a long time. This is my jewelry box. Got some more goodies there. We lived with them during the whole renovation process, so it's like we're slowly still getting stuff. But anyways, this is a catch-all space after all, so it's not always going to look beautiful. I did vacuum it out before I started the tour, but normally dirt accumulates very quickly in this space, obviously, especially just with how much we're in and out playing outside now. So anyways, I just love this space now. Adding just a couple of new things really transformed this space and made it so much more functional, and so I'm super happy with how it turned out and things that we added in here. So that's the breezeway. So I'm gonna try to show you one more space, and then I'm pretty sure we're gonna need to nurse. And we're getting a little antsy around here, so we're gonna show you the playroom. This is another highlighted space in our home. It's, like I said, when we renovated this home, we added this upper living space so that we could add 2 more spaces that could act as bedrooms for the kids, and then we just wanted a big, we went back and forth about up here about what we wanted to do with this space, and so eventually we landed on having 2 bedrooms that kind of bookend this space up here, and then this the main space is all play. One of the bedrooms is obviously the nursery. This is Tommy's room. These are small spaces, so they are technically not classified as a bedroom, I don't think, but that's how we treat them. And then this whole up here is all play. I shouldn't say all play because a lot of it is, but I also have portions up here that are what I consider the craft and school area, so I'll show you those too. So we have 4 dormers that I've kind of designated, aside from this one right here, which is where you come upstairs, that I've kind of designated certain things for. So here's like our TP space. We have our activity board there we got as a from my brother-in-law and his girlfriend. They made that for her. So we have activity board and our teepee here with some stuffed animals. And then this space is just continually a work in progress over by this bench, but some of my school stuff is here for teaching, and we are in the process of clearing out our garage. And so I keep finding more and more of my school stuff that I used to use for teaching, and so just trying to add those into this space. But this is like our school and craft area. And we were talking about Earth Day on Monday, so Daddy drew us a really nice picture here. And normally, though, I have a morning message, and we have a fighter verse, so like a verse that we're working on that month to practice. So that's how I like to use the whiteboard. And then this is a calendar. We like to do the calendar every day, just part of our little school work. Obviously, with a almost 3-year-old, you're not going to do a ton, but yeah. So that's the school area. And then we have Colin's room is in here. This fun wallpaper. My mother-in-law did it for me. And I don't know if she'd do it again. It was a little tricky, but it is so fun, and it turned out so good. And it's from a new wall decor. I get asked that a lot. So here's her room. You know, we don't do anything super fancy around here. I know people go all out for kids' rooms, but, you know, we've got the base. She basically is just in here for sleeping, and she plays in here maybe a little bit, but, you know, she really just needs a bed in here, and that's what we've got. So that's there. And then over here, this is our library. So this dormer is designated for that. When I was teaching, I had obviously a classroom library, and so having a home library I feel is so important. Just knowing the importance of having like a comfortable space for kids to come and cozy up with a book to read is very motivating. So we have beanbags. Those were from my classroom, and this double-sided bookshelf is awesome. My mother-in-law got us that for Christmas. So yeah, this is our library. And then we just have some more play area. I actually just rearranged this. Last night I was kind of getting bothered as I was cleaning up, so I just switched a couple things around. And I definitely like everything around the perimeter of a space, if you can't tell that already. I was the same way with my classroom. Like, I really liked open space for play and spreading out and working. And I think that having things kind of around the perimeter just makes it look a little bit more organized and neat. So that's the upstairs space, and there's just a couple more things I wanted to show you guys. I'm gonna take a little break just to, you know, do some mom life. I don't really like to be doing work when they're awake, so I'm gonna take a break, and hopefully during nap time I'll be able to share a few more spaces that I wanted to highlight in our home to finish this tour. So thanks for all of you who have tuned in so far this morning. I'm having a fun time doing this, and we'll check back in a little bit. So I have a little bit of time. I'm going to finish up sharing the last 2 spaces in our home. And I feel like a nerd. I did not mean to do a wardrobe change, but I spilled coffee all over. I spilled it all over myself when I went to take a sip. So, yeah, you know, drinking is very hard over here. Anyways, I'm going to show you our master bedroom, and I'm going to show you the item that I get asked probably the most about. Okay, so the last two spaces I'm going to show you are our master bedroom and master bathroom, and I get asked very often about our bed frame, and I have that linked as well on my like. And then this is our master bathroom. We got our vanity from Kitchen Bath Collection is what it's called. I get asked about that often. There's my shirt that I spilled coffee all over. And then in the shower here, we did the subway tile, but we did a little bit, just kind of a twist with the longer tiles, and then just like a granite hexagon tile for the flooring. So really happy with it. We carried it all the way up to the ceiling, and then we did these two niches for soaps and shavers and all that stuff. And I get asked a lot about just not having bedside tables, and we do not have any as of right now. We would have to have a very particular size if we do get them, just because we wouldn't want them to cover the windows. So we don't have any right now, and we make it work. I mean, really, beside my bed, all I have is my phone plugged in, my water bottle, my glasses, and the monitor. So I'm actually glad we don't have them right now, just because if I think about what I used to have in my bedside tables at our previous home, it was just, you know, stuff I just would shove in there that I never even needed anyway. So decreases the clutter. And that's not to say that we won't ever get them. We may get bedside tables at some point, but like I said, they have to be a very specific size if we do. And as I mentioned earlier, we really just don't want to get something just to get it. We want it to be pieces that we just really love. So if we don't need it, we're good without it until we find that item that we love and want to actually bring into the home. So, all right, we are back outside. One last thing I wanted to show you that I forgot to earlier is that we did black windows on the exterior, but the interior of the windows are white. So we kind of wanted to keep it a a little bit more of a classic look on the inside, but on the outside, we just love that modern farmhouse feel. But again, we wanted to do a little bit different look to it that just warmed it up a little. Since we're in a very wooded, rural area, we wanted to kind of have the house be warmed up just a little bit. So we went off trend a little bit from just the typical black roof, white vertical siding, black windows, and we warmed it up with some like natural wood elements. And inside the home too, you can see that theme kind of continues. And so our roof is actually a brown color, and we saw it only like one time as we were searching and trying to decide what to do about the roof color, and we just really loved it. So this is what the exterior of the house looks like. So there's still lots of stuff we're working on right now. Obviously we have the sidewalk going in. We have hydro seed we're going to be putting in to put grass seed down, obviously, because there's a bunch of dirt all around the house from this past fall when they were doing some work as we were moving in. And we also need to paint the front of those steps white. So, but yes, this is the exterior. And like I said, we went with a brown, so it was kind of a combination that it was a little risky just because we weren't sure how it was going to end up looking on our house, but we absolutely love it. We love the twist to the modern farmhouse. I love this twist to the modern farmhouse. I just think it warms it up a little bit and fits in with our surroundings. So that concludes our home tour. at the Valley View Farmhouse. And so like I said, I share a lot of this type of stuff over on my personal account, which is just courtney.tracy, and over on my blog I love to share things, all things farmhouse related, home decor related, everyday fashion related, faith related, family related, all of those things. I love to share all those things over on Courtney Tracy. So thanks for following along with our house tour. I'm here today. We're gonna enjoy the sunshine in Minnesota. It's just starting to feel like spring. It's beautiful out today. It's windy, but it's sunny and beautiful. So we're golfing, and